Most of you probably know, but in 2008, it actually was July of 2008, we found that we had a supply issue from the rubber belt manufacturer. What happened at that time is he actually moved manufacturing locations from Wilson, North Carolina to Goshen, Indiana. And at that time, when they moved, something happened. Their process changed, their formulation changed, and all of a sudden we started having problems. Fortunately, we caught it when we were doing the Power Team engineering build. So what happened is that right after we did the pilot, we put some on life test. The very next morning they were all failing. And it was not just the platinum unit. It was the classic, the silver, and the gold. Fortunately, we'd been working with an alternate belt supplier for about a year. They manufactured the synthetic belt, and it's the belt you know today. It's called the Z-belt, and we're currently using that. We've been working with the rubber belt manufacturer since August of 2008 all the way up to till the fall of 2009. And we had worked with them on about 45 different lots of belts, and we got to a point where we were getting good results. We did a couple of engineering pilots or builds. I sent them to the field to some franchise owners. Some of our TBMs had great results. Based on the feedback from the 2 pilot lots of the rubber belts we sent to the field, we purchased 5,000 rubber belts. And what we decided to do when we launched pilot production on November 8th of 2009 was to start using the rubber belt and installing it in the drive, actually attaching it to the brush roll pulley and motor. The spare belt was still the synthetic. Come about 3 to 4 weeks later, early December, we started receiving a few complaints about belts popping off the pulley on pilot units. Hadn't experienced that in the past. We did a lot of testing internally, and we were able to duplicate that. Once we duplicated the failure on the pilot unit with the rubber belt, we immediately changed back to the synthetic belt. We did that on December 15th. At that point in time, we began to realize that our problems seemed to be isolated to the XL21, the Platinum, and the pilot unit, and very little complaints related to Classic. So we actually got a team together of quality engineers as well as development engineers to try and determine the difference between a Classic and a XL21 unit as it relates to belt drive design. And I'm going to show you a few demonstrations of that in a few minutes. But based on their feedback and their analysis, we determined that we needed to make some changes. And I'm going to review that with you now.